Are the Knicks in the best landing spot for Mitchell?
I don't think so. I mean, if I'm to assume that Donovan Mitchell's ultimate goal is to win a championship, the New York Knicks are not close to a championship. I'm sure they'd love to have him, but it seemed like Miami would be the place to go. I think Donovan Mitchell, the best case scenario for Donovan Mitchell is he turns into something similar to Dwayne Wade. If you look at his skill set, his body type, all those things, and that's what people project for him. Like, if he turns into the fullest version of himself, it's Dwayne Wade. And where did we see Dwayne Wade have the most success in his career? It's obviously in Miami. Under that coaching staff, under that whole Heat culture thing, I think that's the place where if he is looking to win a championship, that's the place where he should want to end up.
What about you, Keyshawn?
Yeah, I think it's probably Miami more so than the Knicks, but I could also make an argument for the Knicks. Here's a guy who grew up in the Greenwich, Connecticut area. Dad's at the front office of the New York Mets, so you got that situation there in New York. But also, you could be the foundational piece to bring back whatever little bit of history the New York Knicks have had in the past. He can finally be the guy that people look to and say, okay, it could be a destination, a landing spot, somewhere where all of a sudden you start to attract those big-time free agents or trade partners with other teams that get their coveted all-star type players that want to be in New York because he's there. Going to Miami is easy, right? But that doesn't mean that you're going to get an NBA title, something that you eventually want to covet in your NBA career. So I think the landing spot for the immediate championship type run would certainly be Miami. But if you want to kind of build something and a big-time legacy and all those sort of things and get the Knicks back to where they're trying to go, I think it's New York.
I think he'd instantly be the biggest star basketball player from that perspective in New York if he ends up with the Knicks. And like Keyshawn said, the ties are just like immeasurable. Like outside of the fact that he grew up in this area, we know that he spends time in New York City. This guy's also represented by CAA, and you all know what Leon Rose, the president of the New York Knicks, his ties are formerly to CAA. Like this would be their biggest superstar that they're able to land since they went after Carmelo Anthony in 2011. Like this is not, I know that people think New York should be commanding superstars in free agency all the time. The Knicks have not been able to land somebody of this caliber in a very, very long time. So I instantly think it changes the outlook of this organization. And I know people are wondering right now, well, how can they possibly make this work? They just had Jalen Brunson sign in free agency. They may or may not want to give up R.J. Barrett in this deal. And that seems like it would become a pretty crowded backcourt. You bring Donovan Mitchell in right now. You've got a player who can drop 30 on any given night. Same thing with Jalen Brunson. You figure out your crowded backcourt at a later date because someone like Donovan Mitchell, an all-star caliber player, is going to attract other free agents to join him here in New York City. And I think it's great for his legacy. It's great for where this franchise could be headed one day as a contender. Right now, they've got to start somewhere with that, and that would be in landing Donovan Mitchell.
When you go ahead and you put a guy, Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson in the backcourt, I necessarily wouldn't want to give up J.R. Barrett. But then what you just said, Courtney, is you made me think. I forgot. I don't know how I forgot, but I forgot Brunson is there. So now I don't mind giving up Barrett. I don't mind doing that. But if Brunson wasn't there, that's a different situation because you would be depleting the Knicks roster. But you have the luxury of being able to move him to get another player. I would certainly do it.
Yeah, it's a crowded backcourt, and it's also a small backcourt. I think that you guys are right in a best-case scenario. If Donovan Mitchell goes to New York and he turns him into a legitimate competitor, that might be better for the way that we remember him and the way that we talk about him than even going down to Miami and like making a run to the finals. Because New York matters. Even if this team hasn't been important for a long time, we all saw how the country, frankly, reacted to the way that Julius Randle, to how we reacted to Julius Randle because he got the Knicks in the playoffs. They didn't even win, but he got him in the playoffs, and everyone went nuts. So, like, on their climb back to legitimacy, I think it would help them to bring in Donovan Mitchell. But maybe if he has the confidence to build and he has the relationships to build something in New York, that's the place to go. But I guess it just seems so hard to me to go there in that smaller backcourt with guards that are somewhat similar and to give up R.J. Barrett, the one prospect that it seems like is homegrown that they've had so far. They haven't been able to do that successfully. To give him up, like, I think that's a lot to ask for a team that's trying to build something and, frankly, get back into legitimacy, which they've been working their way towards that, because they've kind of been a joke prior to Leon Rose and the new kind of regime coming in there. But we'll see. They're getting in that direction, and Donovan Mitchell would be a big step.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.